John Cena has officially retired from WWE. He just wrapped up his final match against Gunther at Saturday Night's Main Event in what was a pretty big show and a pretty big way for Cena to go out. I want to focus today just on the match, really. We did have the exhibition matches between Bayley, Sol Ruca, Obafemi, Cody, the tag team match, all I thought were done pretty well. I like the interference of Drew McIntyre a little bit, but I did wish that they restarted the match with Cody and Oba because I liked the direction it was going. Glad Sol Ruca won, and the tag team match was bananas. Like, it was just high octane. Really, really enjoyed it. So we have John Cena's match. Comment below your thoughts on John Cena's match. The match itself, the finish, the overall impression you got from it. Did they do it justice? Did they do the best thing for Cena for his final match? So having Gunther as the opponent, let's start there for a second. I thought that was ultimately the right move for in-ring, in my opinion, because you wanted a big bad guy, someone the crowd definitely can boo, and they could definitely get behind Cena. Obviously, they would cheer for him in his finale, but Gunther is a good villain to go up against Cena in all of this. Would we prefer anybody else? There's always going to be names across everyone's list for what they wanted for Cena's last match. I think Gunther in this match did everything he needed to do. There was no missteps. I thought the table spot was great. I thought the back and forth was really good. I thought that having the slowdown of, bunch of clotheslines to Cena constantly wearing him down, taking him down early on and then throughout the match, I did kind of enjoy all that storytelling that they did. You have all of Cena's comebacks and basically doing his 5 moves of doom, as we've come to know it over the years, multiple times over and over again. I thought the crowd was amazing. DC, you did great because it was just super electric throughout the whole night, and obviously for the main event. We got the top rope leg drop from Cena, attitude adjustments, STFU, Gunther hitting numerous power bombs, the splash, clotheslines, sleepers, chokes, all of it. I thought Cena's entrance as well, they did a really good job for having the Trons of almost his history of John Cena going through as he was coming out to the stage. Getting to the ring, it was all super special. And again, with having Gunther as the opponent, I think it was really great to have that crowd be as vocal as they were, because they were obviously super into every moment of that match. Looking at Cena's year of matches and the different opponents he's had, from Randy Orton, AJ Styles, Logan Paul, and so on, he's wrestled and gotten different results out of all of the matches. They're all unique, they're all different. The one that always stands out to me is AJ Styles, and that's, I think, a lot to do with AJ Styles. That was my favorite, most entertaining match. And as now we've come to the conclusion, and every fan's going to have their opinion on what they wanted, should have happened, could have happened, I kind of, maybe selfishly wish that AJ Styles, as an example, would have been Cena's final opponent, because I think it just would have gotten over better with the crowd. But as I'm thinking through this, and I just literally finished watching it, I think that Gunther is, I guess, makes sense to have because he's the big villain. But the way the match maybe would have been executed would have gotten over better, and especially the finish, if you had someone like an AJ Styles as his final opponent. But we'll never know. So I liked all the near falls. I think you had great spots where you had attitude adjustments going to the near falls. You had Cena getting into sleeper holds, getting pin combinations, and he was getting kicked out of everything. So you gave the crowd a ton of hope spots throughout the whole thing. But then we have the finish. So the finish sees John Cena tap out. Gunther goes for the choke. Cena gets the hope spot, or he doesn't give up. He doesn't pass out. He tries to Hulk up, brother, one more time. And then you get the one little look on Cena's face, and he smiles just for a second and taps out to Gunther, and the crowd was so deflated. It was really interesting from that moment on. You had the crowd the entire time, back and forth. And I don't know if Gunther won by power bombs to 1, 2, 3, if it would have been better or a different reaction from the crowd. If Cena passed out, if it would have been received any better. Cena tapped out, and it kind of felt a little bit lackluster. It didn't hit. And I think maybe it is because Cena didn't win. And with that crowd in his final match, wanted nothing more for him to not give up, because they chanted it throughout the match. When he tapped, I'm watching and I thought that was it. It was almost like the Undertaker Brock Lesnar, where Brock beat Undertaker and the crowd was a little stunned. Maybe not to that degree, but it did leave everybody just kind of in silence for a moment. And then they booed, and they booed hard because it's not what they wanted to see. They wanted to see John Cena, the hero, get the win and go out on top because they're there for his final match. Like it all, I get it. It's all in there. And we could, by the way, I know comments will be lit up tonight with it's Triple H's fault, it's WWE's fault. They ruined it, they ruined everything. We have no idea how this is put together, whether it's Cena's call, Triple H's call, combination of both. We simply don't know and probably will never know. If it was Cena's idea, I imagine he would have probably some say in that. But even Cena has said in interviews, he goes with what the company wants. If they want him to do a match against whatever opponent, then he just says, okay, let's go. That's been his MO throughout a lot of the feedback, a lot of the interviews over the past couple of months and couple of weeks even. So I know a lot of people are going to say, I'm not trying to defend it at all, by the way, but I know a lot of people will sit here and be like, Triple H ruined it because that's the finish that they went with. We don't know. But I will say, I don't know how I feel about it. And it might be just need a whole day to sleep on it, to really digest how that finish came to be. But the crowd in that moment, they absolutely booed. They booed the crap out of the entire finish. What would you have rather seen, though? Please comment below. Let me know. I think I would have rather, I don't know what I would rather see. I think I would have rather seen him pass out because I think it would have played better with his character. John Cena's whole thing of never give up. He tapped out, he gave up. And that's fine. Like that can work. I think just more for what his whole character has been forever, the never give up. For him to pass out, I think it leaves a little bit more, but maybe that would have been flat because you don't get the moment of Cena, looking over to the camera and smiling a little bit to pass out. You get the tap out version. But I think you could have even been just as effective if Cena did pass out and Gunther wins, because you could have had Cena just do the little bit of the smile and then just fade off. And that could have been it. I almost think that could have worked a little bit better. Or ultimately, you just have John Cena win, but everyone's going to have their preference here. So after that, you have the post-match. The post-match is where everybody comes down to the ring and the crowd really boos real hard. Triple H and Stephanie coming down first. Camera kind of pans to them a little bit, and then obviously everybody else, the whole locker room. Bruce Pritchard's out there. Everyone's out there. The crowd really booed all of this. You could hear chants for F Triple H. This did not sit well. I think there was even a shot, if you look, of like Bruce Pritchard where he was kind of looking around like, wow. But you have CM Punk, Cody Rhodes, your champions. They come out. They come in the ring for a nice moment with Cena. Cena's bowing. He's thanking the crowd throughout all of it. Even as soon as like Cena lost and the crowd was booing, you could see Cena just kind of being like, oh, come on. It's okay. It's okay. But then with having Cody and Punk in the ring, I think it was a good moment, putting the championships on Cena to allow him to go and kind of celebrate around the ring. But there was still the moment of Triple H, once he did all the celebrating, Triple H is on the apron and the crowd booed. And they booed him really bad for them to hug and laugh for a minute. And then they did a whole video package for Cena. Even Vince McMahon made a cameo in Cena's little thing there. That was kind of funny. So they went through all of it. Cena's parents were shown, opponents, etc. And then they wrapped it up. Cena leaves his gear, his shoes in the ring, the wristbands, everything. He leaves them in the middle of the ring and exits, and he thanks the crowd. And that was Cena's retirement. And I gotta say, it was mixed emotions, I will say. And I think that doing retirements in wrestling, they must be really hard to nail. Really, really hard. This almost feels like maybe you should have gone with Cena going over. It goes back to the original thing of Gunther being the final opponent. Did Gunther need it? From just within storylines, Gunther's going to go on. He's retired Goldberg. He's now retired John Cena. What's next? WrestleMania against Brock? Is he going to retire Brock at SummerSlam in Brock's retirement match? Would you have done somebody younger? Would you have had an Obafemi in a spot like that? But even then, how does it go? Or as I mentioned earlier, an AJ Styles, a Randy Orton to go for more of a classic match. I don't know if there's any winning in any of it, other than maybe just for the crowd itself being happy if Cena went over, and then they get the big pop celebration, and they didn't get that. And maybe that's also part of it, is kind of denying that crowd that moment to be able to celebrate, to give John one more win and for the crowd to erupt. You didn't give them that giant pop at the very end. You left them all kind of in tears. And that adds a lot of heat to Gunther as a character. He can go into Raw and he's going to get booed. Just like he did throughout the match, well, he'll get booed a lot more now. Triple H, I don't think he's taking the brunt of all of this, and I'm not trying. I don't care. I'm not apologizing for the man. I mean, if these were his creative decisions, then I don't really think that they were good ones tonight. But he's getting booed and booed way more, and it's getting more and more noticeable that crowds now you're seeing live crowds boo him. He would come out often enough where he was still getting cheered. His music would hit, or he'd be in the ring, or he'd do the Cena thing, and he did the introduction for Cena that one time. But now he's getting booed. This is going to be an interesting time because this could be kind of a domino effect. If we're going to have any predictions here, we very well could see the live crowds start to boo stuff that they don't like to see. Just like when we had Roman Reigns in the era of being pushed down everyone's throats, seeing Daniel Bryan not get over and the crowd turning during matches and things like that. Maybe not. Maybe nothing comes of it next week and the week after and so on. But based off of how the crowd really did react to all of this, knowing that this was not the right decision that they wanted to see, and then booing the people that are coming down the ramp to celebrate, and they're just fully booing all of them in Cena's retirement moment, I can definitely see a world where crowds will see some creative decisions on TV and the live audience will now start booing again. And that's a dangerous and slippery slope. I don't think that they need to ignore that. I think they need to pay attention to decisions like this and think twice if this is the right move or not. And sometimes you just got to give fans what they want. If fans really wanted to see Cena go over, then maybe they should have allowed that. We don't know. Again, like I said at the beginning, we don't know if this is Cena's call, WWE TKO's call, whatever combination. Nobody knows. But from the fans' perspective, I think that it should have been a little bit more fan service. I ultimately do think that maybe Cena should have gone over for that big crowd eruption and he can go out on top because it doesn't hurt Gunther. Sure, he gets the boos and the heat now, but he's going to go on to do whatever he was going to do anyways. And I don't think it changes much for him. And if he lost, Cena's gone. So, he could at least say he had Cena's retirement match and he'll still get booed. So I don't know how much it really does for Gunther to propel him any further. The core match itself, from Cena entrance, all the way to almost the finish, I did enjoy it. And I love the crowd. I think it just made it so special. They really did. But yeah, that finish, man, that was kind of shocking. And I mean, maybe not the reaction that they were hoping to get. Oh, and shoutouts to The Miz for his WrestleMania gear, R-Truth, Joe Hendry, everybody at ringside. Elias was there, Kurt Angle. I loved all of that. And I just think that it was a great celebration. It's at Saturday night's main event. It's not a PLE, but they certainly built it for an entire year. And they really ran with it all the way to the end to make it a special event for fans to be able to participate in, to be a part of. They made it very special, being a whole night for John Cena and exhibition matches overall. What did you think of Cena's retirement, the match, the year, the whole thing? I'd love to know what you guys think. Please comment below. And if you can, you're new here or existing, if you can support the channel, hit the subscribe button. It does help us grow. Hit the like button on this video for our review and stay tuned for more content coming at you. Have a great day. See ya.